The captain immediately called for help, but the signal was cut off. He lowered his head as if he didn't want anyone to see him. The reason is very simple, just look at his face, and you will find that he is an addict. He applied for a fireman job, but he was noticed before he didn't even enter the interview. To send him away, a man lied that there were enough people here. Render bowed his head in disappointment, and was turning to leave when Captain Eric in the room came out. He called Rendon back into the office to talk. He just sat down. Eric asked,
"When was the last time you used?
3 months ago.
You ever use needles?"
Turns out 3 months ago Rendon found out his ex-girlfriend was pregnant. He wanted to take responsibility, but his girlfriend is very disappointed in him. After being rejected, Rendon went to the pub, and got drunk. On the way, he tried to steal things, but was caught by the police at the battle. Rendon's mother bailed him out, threw him some money, and kicked him out of the house. Not long after, the baby was born. Seeing his little daughter, he wanted to take responsibility. After hearing Rendon's story, Eric decided to give him a chance. But his colleagues always seemed to hate Rendon. They started training. They run fast and steady. Rendon can't keep up with them. The captain took the members to run to the top of the mountain. When they turned back they saw Rendon. They didn't care about Rendon but kept running. They thought that Rendon would give up. When they got home from work, they saw Rendon at the ending point. He even showed them a photo to prove he ran all the way. The leader agreed to let Rendon stay. The vice leader gave him water to drink. That night, Rendon went to the supermarket to buy some baby stuff. He stealthily placed in front of the door, and left. The next day Rendon continued to attend training. These men made a mistake in training. The leader punished them with push-ups. Brune was so angry and scolded that Rendon was stupid, but Rendon didn't care. But the more he talked, the more he insulted Rendon's girlfriend and daughter. The leader said to hit him and get him out of here. Rendon released him and continued to do push-ups. Very quickly, they received a quest of a burning forest. They quickly set off. This is the first time Rendon has seen such a large firing mountain. The captain decided to use fire to extinguish the fire. They were about to set fire to the forest in front of them. The fire gradually weakened. Tonight they decided to stay here. The next morning, the fire was extinguished. Through this quest, Rendon was officially welcomed by everyone. Back in the city, the first thing to do is to give things to my daughter. But this time, Natalie took her daughter out. She said thank you to Rendon and let him hold the baby. Rendon refused because he was very dirty, but Natalie still gave him his daughter. He hugged his baby girl, and cried. He could realize his change. The rescue team then was on a mission to protect a 2,000-year-old national tree. The small branches around the area were all cut, and fireproof trenches were dug. The next thing is to wait for the fire. They just looked to separate to gather with the big fire in the distance. Using fire to extinguish the fire. After completing the task, they overlapped to celebrate the victory. They didn't have time to rest for a while before they received the next mission. On the mountain, thunder caused this mountain to burn. They arrived immediately and started digging a trench. Burned all the bushes around. Once again they extinguished the fire with fire. But the water jet suddenly appeared, slamming the fire they just lit. There was no other way. The leader Eric had to think of another plan. Renders were arranged to stand on height to observe the situation. The others continued on their way. The fire was spreading more and more. The air became polluted and the wind changed direction. Rendon was saved by his teammates. The sky was gray with smoke and fire. However, because the fire was getting bigger and bigger, the water to put out the fire had not arrived yet. The fire quickly spread to them. Now they couldn't move back and forth. They cut down all the trees around. Just at that moment the helicopter appeared. The leader immediately called for help, but the signal was cut off. The plane could not determine the exact position of the whole team. Rendon hears the sound coming from the radio. 19 firefighters were trapped in the fire. They just could only save themselves. They laid on the ground waiting for the big fire to swallow. The fire was hot to 500 degrees. It felt like the death is coming. After the fire went out, the whole mountain was a desolation. When the relief team found the rescue team, inside were only 19 charred corpses. Rendon was devastated after receiving the news. Upon learning that there was only one survivor left, Eric's wife collapsed to the ground. At this time, the family members of the fire brigade survived but do not know who. Each has a hope, otherwise, Rendon is going to the playground. Everyone advised him not to come. Rendon walked the heaviest steps with 2 hands holding strictly. At the moment Rendon appeared, their eyes look at him. No one blames him. This feeling is really painful. Rendon tried to walk out of the arena, at which point the captain's wife noticed Rendon's irregularity. As expected, Rendon collapsed as soon as he got out. This is a true story. Happened in 2013, Granish Mountain Rescue Heroes.